What's up, everyone? It's Andres Restart, and welcome to the very first segment for Nintendo News. This news segment is basically a simplified segment I'm going to have where I can, just jump on the face cam, report what's happened in the day, and then convey my thoughts about it. So, let's get started. Now, two very interesting pieces of information came out from Laura Kate Dale. If you don't know who she is, she's a writer for video games. She has a lot of insider sources from the industry, and she's proven herself to be very credible and reliable. She definitely has insider information, and she basically has leaked almost everything about the Nintendo Switch on top of a whole bunch of other software before they have even been announced. So she knows her stuff. That said, that doesn't mean she's always right. So take this all with a grain of salt. It's still rumor territory, but there is at least a decent likelihood that it could come true. Now, with the first piece of very interesting information is apparently Darksouls 3 could be coming to the Nintendo Switch. So let me read a brief excerpt from her report. So, according to one of our sources, From Software has Dark Souls 3 running on the Nintendo Switch with a level of performance they are happy with. They have not committed to releasing it yet, but discussions internally at the company have discussed the financial viability of re-releasing the main 3 Dark Souls titles on the Switch with their DLC bundled in. Okay, so one, Dark Souls 3 being on the Nintendo Switch is fantastic. It's just more third-party support for the system. It's what we want. The idea of a system that plays all Nintendo games on the go and at home, but also has third-party support, that sounds like a dream, and it may actually happen. That said, they are assessing the financial viability of the system, so they're not entirely sure how much they're going to support the system. That probably is, a lot of it has to do with how well the system sells. So if the system does really well at launch, there's probably a high likelihood that Dark Souls 3 will come with the system. But not only that, they're considering bringing the entire trilogy with all the DLC to the system. And I think this is a great idea, because the fact of the matter is there are a lot of Nintendo gamers who have yet to give Dark Souls a try, and by putting it on a Nintendo system, there's a good chance they'll try it out, myself included. So I think this is a great idea. I hope Nintendo Switch sells very well, so I'll have an opportunity to play the entire Dark Souls trilogy on my Nintendo Switch. Because that game requires a lot of grinding, a lot of hard work, and a lot of death. And by being able to take it on the go, that's going to afford me the time to play it wherever I want and suffer wherever I want. Nevertheless, I'm really excited about the prospect of playing that game. I hope this comes true. We'll see. So, the next big piece of information that came out also from Laura Kate Dale is regarding the Nintendo Switch itself. It's apparently, she's saying, that the Nintendo Switch dock will increase performance, but not via extra hardware. So let me read a couple excerpts. Well, it's an excerpt from this report, another report she had today. So here we go. When the system is connected to the dock by USB-C, which is like a connection kind of similar to like how you plug in your smartphones to charge and such, except this is like kind of like the best version of those connections. But anyways, when the system is connected to the dock by USB-C, the system's components will run at a higher clock speed to facilitate 1080p resolutions to the TV. Both video and power will be transferred over USB-C when docked. Plugging the system into the dock will also activate a small additional fan to help with cooling when run at a higher clock speed. This fan is in the rear of the dock, and there's a gap in the back of the dock to allow the system's inbuilt fans to vent when docked. Apparently, the dock is incredibly lightweight, and while it does play a part in increasing system performance on the TV, it is designed to be cheap to produce. The intention is that sometime after launch, additional docks will be sold to place in different rooms, so you can put them in different rooms if you have multiple TVs in the house. So that's some very interesting stuff right there, if true. Now, a lot of people have already speculated that there is something going on in the back of the actual Switch dock, because if you look carefully at some of the images, there is a big gaping hole in it. So we wonder what it was. And there being fans and like a ventilation system in it kind of makes sense, because that dock is too big to just be a charging station / HDMI in-out for the television. And this report, it all makes sense now. The fact that it has like a ventilation system built in, which is kind of a cheap way to power up the system. So basically, the system all like you know, the GPU, CPU, all that good stuff is inside the handheld part of the system, but it can only be clocked at a certain level. So say on the go, most games are going to be 720p, 30 frames per second, but when you plug that sucker into the dock, it can overclock, go at max power, but thanks to the additional ventilation system provided by the actual dock, it's not going to overheat. It can run at the higher clock speeds, so games can run at 1080p and 60 frames per second, which is really cool. I would love to get a powerful system to play my games at home. I want that 1080p experience at home. So this could have helped the Nintendo Switch be both that true home console experience, but also the really awesome mobile experience. Well, handheld experience. But not only that, apparently these docks are going to be produced in a very cheap way so we can get multiple docks. So if we have multiple TVs in our house and we want to play in different rooms, we can do that without unplugging everything, and it's kind of, you know, that whole annoying process. Like for me, you know, I have my capture card stuff set up on my desk with my computer and a smaller television and my face cam, so when I do record gameplay, it's all there. But I only have one Wii U, so if I want to play Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or anything else with my friends or my brother, I would have to move it into another room into a bigger television. And that's kind of annoying, unplugging all the cords and then moving it over and bringing it back. But with the Nintendo Switch, thanks to this having the ability to have multiple docks and just, you know, take it out of one and put it in another and then continue the exact same game you were playing, that's really cool. It's so simple, but it's also really awesome, and it kind of is going to add to the, I guess, the portability or the accessibility for this system. So I would love for this to happen. It makes sense. It's something that I speculated already. All of this is something I speculated already. So I really hope this all happens. I'm kind of excited about it. Everything I hear about the Nintendo Switch it's basically all really good. So, but none of it is entirely unrealistic. So I definitely think that these rumors could be true, but we won't know for sure until the system comes out, or at least on January 13th when we have that explosion of information for the system. So guys, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to talk about the potential for Dark Souls 3 on the system, or if you want to talk about how the system's going to be more powerful when docked, or simply having the ability to move the system around your house without the painstaking process of unplugging cords, let's talk about it in the comments below. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. It really matters. It helps out a lot, guys. And if you want to see more content from me on Just Restart, please subscribe. That's all for now, guys. See you later.